So I want you to think about what I call the point of impact. And the point of impact is a very specific thing where time and space converge into a very specific moment. And in that moment, a person has to make a decision, or people need to make a decision. And in that moment, nothing else matters except for one thing. A person will make a decision congruent to their identity. A person will make a decision congruent to their identity. Now, what forms a person's identity? There's two things. First of all, it's your lived experiences. They shape who we are, whether or not we like it or not. They shape who we are. So lived experiences. The second part is the stories that we hear. We are influenced by the stories that we hear. And if it's a great story, what happens is it turns into a lived experience and it becomes part of who we are. This also explains why in the 1980s we had so many guys getting into fights after watching Rocky. Hey, Adrian! So think about the point of impact, right? At the session before, I think Teresa said something about data is sexy. I'll tell you what's even sexier, storytelling using data. That way you hit the logic, you hit the heart. Because if you want to influence out here, it's got to come from here, and it's got to come from in here. So take the data and turn it into stories. I ran a workshop a few months ago where it was really interesting. It was about how to tell strategic stories, and the whole thing was, yeah, we have data all the time. And there's one gentleman who, like, as soon as I said this, he literally slapped himself in the head, and I thought, oh my God, are you okay? And he said, I just realized I've been telling the wrong stories. So he works for a community organization that have stakeholders. They're the people that inject money into the organization. He shares all sorts of data with them, never shares data with his own team. It's the little things that help you implement these principles. So if you're trying to impact and influence everyone, a key question for you is, what is happening at the point of impact? That's the moment where you need someone to make a decision. I want you to think about what is actually happening in that moment of space and time. Who is the person making the decision? Who are they really? You know, we speak about a shift in the world of work. Two shifts happening at the moment, all the global redundancies. A lot of my ex-colleagues in tech have all lost their job, right? And that's because the people in those organizations are operating from a different identity. Even with DEI, that's really shifted too, and that's because the people there are operating on different identity. And part of the animosity around that change is coming from a lot of people are discovering that others aren't who they thought they were. And that hits you here. But like I said, if you want to influence out here, you've got to use this thing and come from here. So that's the first principle.